Hello and welcome everyone, my name's Kepken and today we're gonna look at our best Fury Warrior Talent 3 builds from Dragonflight pre-patch. So it's currently pre-patch, it's 4th of November and it's gonna be some weeks of pre-patch ahead of us, which means that we still have access to our legendaries, to our Covenant abilities and to our... and we don't have enough talent points, which means that when Dragonflight hits the live servers, some parts of the builds are not gonna be the same, and I'm gonna have updated videos about that. So if you want to see more info about this, subscribe to the channel 100%. Thanks for Wowhead for all the information that they're giving. I'm gonna have all the links to the article and builds in pinned comment below the video. Now about the author. This guide is written and maintained by Arkim Tiros, the warrior class theory crafter, simulation craft developer and Mythic raider. You can find him on Twitter and streaming on Twitch. Join the warrior class Discord Skyhold to stay up to date with all things warrior, now over 100,000 members strong. So yeah, thanks for all that things, and now let's go for the talent builds themselves. So Fury Warrior raid talent builds. Fury Warriors have two primary builds in Dragonflight: a Raging Blow focused build whose playstyle is near identical to Shadowlands, and an Annihilator build which replaces Raging Blow with a combination of Bloodthirst, Whirlwind and Slam. Although the Annihilator build is not at all far behind in single target, it suffers from the lack of the final talent points gained on the way to level 70. So Raging Blow is more likely to be the primary single target raid build throughout the Dragonflight pre-patch. So here we have our Unbridled Ferocity. Raging Blow is more likely to be... yeah, so Raging Blow is more likely to be primary single target raid build. Oh, so yeah, that's your Raging Blow build. Okay, so Unbridled Ferocity is your Raging Blow build. Okay, so let's go with our probably general talent tree first, and then with our specialization one. So of course we have Berserker stance and we're taking defensive stance. We're taking Intervene for more mobility, Rallying Cry for your AoE sustain and survivability of your party or raid, War Machine for more rage generation passively, Impending Victory for more sustain throughout the fight, Fast Footwork, more mobility again, Spell Reflection allows you to reflect some spells, so additional defense, a Leech increased by 5%, which is definitely something very, very good. Then Ferocious Blows, auto attack speed increase for more rage generation and passive damage, maximum rage increased by 30, which will help you with if you don't have way to spend your rage, to stack it a bit higher and not lose your resource effectively. Sidearm, your auto attacks have chance to hurl weapons at your target and other 3 enemies, dealing additional physical damage, which is just very good proc, because I've saw this taken on most of the talent trees of other specializations as well. Heroic Leap, one of our main abilities. Frozen Berserk, Rampage has chance to immediately refund % of the rage spent, so more resource again. Pain and Gain, just your passive sustain. Bounding Stride will give you more uptime on your Heroic Leap and will increase your movement speed as well. Bitter Immunity restores health, instantly removes all diseases, poisons and curses affecting you, so that's just additional survivability. Double Time increases maximum charges of charge, so you have more mobility. Dual wield specialization, your damage while dual wielding is increased by 5%. Then we're taking Wild Strikes, haste increased by 1%, and your auto attacks critical strikes increase your auto attack speed by 10%. So we're going for more armor and then gain some % of your armor as strength. We're taking cooldown of Raging Blow and Pummel reduced by 1 second. We're taking Avatar, which it's very good damaging cooldown and it removes roots and snares. We're taking Titan's Torment, activating Avatar casts Odin's Fury, activating Odin's Fury casts Avatar at reduced effectiveness. So that's your vice versa talent. And then we're going what we're taking with our specialization talent tree. We're going for Bloodthirst and Raging Blow, which are our Just essential abilities. We're taking improved enrage. Enrage increases your haste by 15% and increases your maximum movement speed, which is probably like must have. Talent. Improved bloodthirst. Bloodthirst damage is increased, and while enraged, your auto attacks can no longer miss. Oof. Wow, that's like interesting. Then while we're going into our right part, we're going more into execution. Execution no longer costs rage and now generates rage. Sudden death, your attacks have chance to like proc and gain you ability to use your execute free of charge on any target. Improved raging blow. Raging blow has 2 charges and has 20% chance to instantly reset its own cooldown. Cruelty, while enraged, raging blow deals increased damage and Annihilator deals increased damage. Then Wrath and Fury, raging blows deals increased damage and while enraged has chance to instantly reset its cooldown. And raging blow gain an extra charge. Then in here we take in Ashen Juggernaut. Execute increases crit strike chance of execute, so that's like you're ramping your execute damage and crit strikes. Then Massacre. Execute is now usable on targets below 35% health, and its cooldown is reduced by 1.5 seconds. In center part of the talent tree, we're taking so Enraged Regeneration. I don't know if I've already listed. Yeah, we're taking this defensive cooldown that we have, which reduces damage and your healing. Well, when you're using Bloodthirst. When this cooldown is on you, Warpaint, you're taking reduced damage while Enrage is active, which is very, very handy. Rampage, we're taking is one of our like finishers and Rage Spenders, one of our main abilities that gives us Enrage. Status, Slaughtering Strikes, Raging Blow causes every strike of your next Rampage to deal an additional 20% damage. Ooh. Annihilator causes every strike of your next Rampage to deal an additional 2% damage, taken up to 5 times. Then we're taking Hack and Slash. Each Rampage strike has a 20% chance to refund a charge of Raging Blow. Okay, then Frenzy. Rampage increases your haste. Effect is reset if you rampage a different primary target, which is probably wouldn't really be the problem in your like raids. Recklessness is like one of our signature offensive cooldowns. Swift Strikes increases haste. Raging Blows generate additional rage, and Annihilator generates additional rage. Odin's Fury unleashes your power, dealing massive damage and an additional physical damage over 4 seconds to all enemies within 12 yards. Generates rage, has 45 seconds cooldown. Then Abandon. Recklessness generates rage and greatly empowers Bloodthirst and Raging Blow. And Unbridled Ferocity. Rampage has a 20% chance to grant Recklessness for 4 seconds. So, ooh, that means that you're gonna have very, very good uptime on your Recklessness with like all these additional just sparks of it being procced on you. So the Raging Blow build is very straightforward, taking every single talent which interacts with Raging Blow, mostly in the form of increased charges and reset mechanics to keep sustain its use. There are several technical optional talents, though the build should typically stick to the right side of the tree, as instead dipping into more Bloodthirst bonuses results in conflicting priorities, trying to prioritize both Bloodthirst and Raging Blow at the same time. So yeah, that's your like one build, and then we'll go with Annihilator build. So what's changed? Ooh, quite much changed, to be honest. So we're not taking Impending Victory. We're not taking Honed Reflexes. Instead, we're going for 2 stacks in Crushing Force. Oh, Slam deals an additional damage and has increased critical strike chance instead of additional self-sustain and like reducing cooldown of Raging Blows. Raging Blows I can understand, but Impending Victory is quite useful ability, healing you for 30% of your max health every 25 seconds, man. Okay, then we're taking wait a second, what are we skipping to? Oh, and the third thing that we're skipping, we're skipping Bitter Immunity, which again gives you more self-sustain, and it removes diseases, poisons, and curses. But then we're taking Barbaric Training. Slam and Whirlwind deal increased damage and 10% increased critical strike damage. So yeah, that's like you prioritize more damaging talents, and you're skipping some sustain oriented ones. And in like your here we have pretty significant change. So we're not taking improved Raging Blows, Wrath and Fury, Raging Armaments, and we're not going in deep in like in here with procs of Recklessness, Swift Strikes, and Reckless Abandon. Instead, what we're taking all these talents. So we're going for Cold Steel, Hot Blood, Bloodthirst. Critical strikes generate 4 additional rage. You inflict a gushing wound that leeches 9 health over 6 seconds. We're taking Vicious Contempt. Bloodthirst deals increased damage to enemies who are below 35% health. You're taking Blood Grace. Bloodthirst increases the critical strike chance of your next Bloodthirst by 15%, stacking up to 5 times. You're taking Bloodborne. Bleed damage of Odin's Fury, so increased like bleed damages. Then we're going for Deft Experience, Mastery increased, and Bloodthirst cooldown reduced. Storm of Swords. Whirlwind has 7-second cooldown now, but deals 70% increased damage. Slam has a 12 seconds cooldown and generates 10 rage, but deals 100% increased damage. Oh man, that's quite interesting. And Annihilator, your auto attacks deal an additional physical damage and generate 2 rage. So yeah, that's like your second rate build. The Annihilator build eschews Raging Blow specific talents in order to make more bleed and Bloodthirst focus on the left side of the tree. Despite being themed around auto attacks, it is not any more passive than the Raging Blow build, and although Raging Blow itself is removed from the rotation, its place is taken by a combination of increased Bloodthirst, Whirlwind, and Slam use, making the rotation arguably even more complicated due to the extra rotational cooldown management involved. Okay, that's interesting. Then we have our Fury Warrior Mythic Plus talent builds. So, Fury Warrior builds do not change much for Mythic Plus dungeons, although a handful of talents are switched around to enable cleave and greater burst AoE damage. The majority of customization will come from what utility talents are most appropriate to the particular dungeon, as not every dungeon features party-wide fears of every group needs stuns and slows. Annihilator builds also make very effective multi-target builds due to great synergy between their talents, though they can be a little harder to customize due to locking all 5 of the final talent points in the 3rd tier. Okay, so with our general talent tree, probably we're gonna go with like standard, with more standard talent tree. So we're skipping Intervene, we're skipping Impending Victory. We're taking Stormbolt, which is like your single target stun. We're taking again Barbaric Training, which increases damage of your Slam and Whirlwind. And we're taking Seismic Reverberation. If Whirlwind hits 3 or more enemies, it hits them 1 additional time for 70% damage. So yeah, that's definitely very good for your AoE. And you not really need as much like mobility in a Mythic Plus when it comes to like blinks and stuff. So we're still not taking Bitter Immunity. We're taking only 1 talent in Wild Strikes. Yeah, and like mostly that's it. That's where your talent are gonna be changed in general talent tree when it comes to Mythic Plus builds. Ooh, and this part is... It looks different. It looks very different. So yeah, let's not compare it one to another and just like go from our memory. So we're starting pretty similar in here, but then we're taking Fresh Meat. So we're going for improved enrage, taking Fresh Meat, but Thirst always enrages you the first time you strike a target, and it has 15% chance to trigger enrage. So yeah, that's like means that you're damaging windows as every new pack, or at least every new enemy, is gonna be way better, because you will have 100% enrage. Enrage regeneration lasts 3 seconds longer and instantly heals for... Oh yeah, so that's your increase for... That's like improvement for your enrage regeneration. A little bit more emphasis on this cooldown. Sudden death, so still all the things that comes to the execute. While enraged raging blows... So again, talents that increase raging blows effectiveness. Then improved Whirlwind, and Whirlwind causes your next 2 single target attacks to strike up to 4 additional targets for 45% damage. Generates rage. So yeah, that's the thing that Fury Warriors had before, when your like Whirlwind is spammable and your next 2 single target attacks are gonna hit multiple enemies. Then Meat Cleaver, Whirlwind deals more damage, and now now affects your next 4 single target melee attacks instead of the next 2. So that means that you don't need to spam Whirlwind as much, and it's just great. Ashen Juggernaut, execute increases critical strike. So yeah, that's your execute stacks. Execute is now usable on targets below 35% health, and its cooldown is reduced. So yeah, that's a bit more emphasis in you using executes. Raging Blows again increases to Raging Blows. Then Swift Strikes, we're coming back to them. We're going for Anger Management instead of what we've had here before. Every 20 rage you spend reduces remaining cooldown of Recklessness, which will be you will generate a bit more rage on your AoE encounters, and that means that you're gonna have better uptime on Recklessness. Then we're taking Odin's Fury and Titanic Rage. Odin's Fury enrages you and then greatly empowers Raging Blow for 6 seconds. So yeah, that's like pretty good as well. So yeah, that's this build again differs. Here we see that most of these builds differ quite a lot. The Mythic Plus multi-target build is very similar to its single target version, simply swapping a few low priority talents for those which enable the ability to cleave attacks, notably improved Whirlwind and Mid Cleaver. There are some options available for customization, such as skipping Titanic Rage and Unbridled Ferocity, though this specific set is tailored toward maximizing burst AoE potential. And here we have Storm of Swords. Oh, holy moly. They differ like so much. We're going again for Crushing Force instead of Pain and Gain and Honed Reflexes in general talent tree, and in our specialization we're not taking Raging Blow increases, like improvements. We're still taking all the Whirlwind action. We're not going as deep into anger management, and we're going more into our like left part of the tree, starting from Focus and Chaos. Going Cold Steel, Hot Blood, Blood Burn, Blood Craze, Deft Experience, Storm of Swords, Annihilator. Oh, so yeah, that's like that's very similar to how these two builds work. Yeah, so I guess Storm of Swords is just like a very fancy name for this thing. This is another multi-target Mythic Plus build which leverages Storm of Swords to replace. Oh no, that's maybe that's like this talent. Oh, wait a second, we're taking Whirlwind with 7 seconds cooldown? Oh man. Leverages Storm of Swords to replace Raging Blow in the rotation with bigger Whirlwinds and bleed damage. While it uses Annihilator, it does not technically require it, but the point adds a great deal of passive rage generation and triggers Slaughtering Strikes automatically. Overall similar in performance to the Raging Blow variant, the build suffers slightly by not being able to talent into anger management, though this can be compensated for with the Reckless Defense legendary. Okay, so yeah, that's your builds for Fury Warrior. Thanks for watching. If you want to have more content like this, come back to my YouTube channel, subscribe to it. Thanks for watching, have a good day and goodbye.